In this video, I do my best to predict who I think Eric Decosta would draft. Not necessarily the players that I would want us to draft, but of course it never turns out that way. So I'm going to try to put myself in the mindset of Eric Decosta and see what we end up with. In round one, at pick 14 and causing quite a stir, I have Eric Decosta selecting for the Baltimore Ravens tackle Trevor Penning. Decosta mentioned or admitted to a great mistake in just presuming that Stanley would be healthy last year. He can't make that same mistake again. I don't think he'll sit around and wait in hopes that he gets a second round, third round, fourth round tackle that could start in the event that Stanley's hurt. I think he's going to jump on Penning if he's still there at 14. I think it's about 50-50 odds that he is there. But if he is there, I see the Ravens jumping on him. How would that play out in the event that Stanley is completely healthy? My sense is they'd play Penning at guard. They would cross their fingers that Stanley stays healthy, and then one of two things would happen in 2023. They would either move Penning to right tackle, keep Stanley at left tackle, or they would dump Stanley as quick as they could for hopefully a first-round pick. And I think that's in their mind with this selection. There's always the possibility that Stanley can't go. And that's why, in large measure, why I believe Decosta will not pass Trevor Penning. I have the Ravens moving up 5 spots, trading with Seattle at pick 40 of the second round and selecting David Ojabo, edge rusher. 2 other names to keep an eye on: Arnold Ebiketie, similar trade up, or Jalen Petrie, the safety/nickel out of Baylor. Seattle has two second-round picks. They are back-to-back. They would end up moving back 5 picks, and the Ravens would give up pick 128 in the 4th round, which is just about right according to the trade value chart. They actually come up a point or 2 ahead, but the Ravens will give that up for sure to go up and get this edge rusher in round 2. In fact, I think the Ravens would give up more than that if they needed to move up closer to the top end of round 2. I think if Ebiketie, Ojabo are hanging out after round 1, they will be on the phone that night seeing how far they need to trade up to get one or the other. In this particular Decosta mock, we've got them selecting Ojabo. I have Eric Decosta selecting at pick 76 in the 3rd round, wide receiver Jalen Tolbert. I went back and forth on this. Part of me thinks they would take a tailback here. Part of me thinks they might take a tight end. I think they'll wait on both of those. He's certainly waited, Decosta that is, has waited long enough to replace Hayden Hurst. I'd like to see them take a tight end like Jeremy Ruckert, like Ferguson in the 3rd or 4th round. But in this mock, I have them waiting and selecting wide receiver Jalen Tolbert. This might be my favorite pick of Eric's so far in this mock. High upside with this guy, some versatility on the D-line, some ability to get to the cornerback. Needs some work in the run game, but taking him and pairing him with Ojabo or having a second edge presence in this draft class, I'd like that very much. With the Ravens' first pick in the 4th round, I have Eric Decosta selecting for the Ravens center, guard, Luke Fortner out of Kentucky. Luke's just the kind of player the Ravens target, smart, quick out of his stance, versatile, played in an offense that at one point had 18 straight running plays when I watched them. Think he's underrated a little bit, and I think he'll be given a chance to earn a starting spot on this team. The Ravens surrendered pick 128 as they moved up in round 2. And I have them at pick 139 selecting Cortez Davis, cornerback out of Hawaii. Decosta and the Ravens in general are always prone to taking an under-the-radar prospect, usually at safety or corner. Had not heard of Cortez Davis, but he is on the Ravens' radar as they've brought him in for a visit or had some form of visit with him. I make it a point not to put prospects on that I haven't watched. So I went and found tape on him. These are my initial observations. I think where he hangs his hat is the fact that he is a good man corner. Gets right up in the face at the line of scrimmage of the wide receiver in press man. Good jam at the line of scrimmage, has fluid hips, can turn and run. I haven't seen any receiver get off his jam or blow by him off the line. So he appears to have good speed. He's very thin. Oftentimes he is blocked far downfield by a wide receiver. So that needs some attention. Also, I'm not crazy about him in zone. He can be baited underneath with these over-unders. Saw that twice in 2 games. But he is a sticky man corner. Looks good in off man. Like McCollum, there's a lot of positives, a lot of traits to work with. I do like the idea of 2 young corners being brought in under Humphrey and Peters. I suppose it's possible that the Ravens bring in a veteran, a Joe Hayden type, to go along with these 2. But I think it's pretty exciting if these 2 corners were brought in by the Ravens. In the 6th round, with the Ravens' final pick, I have Eric Decosta selecting for the Baltimore Ravens wide receiver out of Virginia Tech, Tre Turner. Tre's one of my favorite prospects under the radar in the draft, which I suppose defeats the purpose of this exercise, but I'm going to presume he is one of Eric's favorites as well. Very good hands, excellent route runner, 6'2", and a little bit under the radar. I think he had up and down quarterback play at Virginia Tech, but watch his film. Puts me in the mind a little bit of Antoine Wesley.